Welcome to Common Man Cocktails. This is Derek Scholler. I had a question from Stephen Foisey today, or the other day, I don't remember. That was, what alcohols should you keep in the refrigerator? Because I had a rant about stop freezing your alcohols. It's just stupid to do that. And if you want to know why, you can ask the question. I'll link you to the video. Most alcohol doesn't have to go in the refrigerator. Really, no alcohol has to go in the refrigerator in order to stop you from dying. Meaning, it's going to get bacteria and it's going to give you an infection. It's going to be bad. It's got algae or growth or whatever. That floaties, if you will. Most alcohol isn't going to have this problem. This is the reason they make alcohol. It's a stabilizer. Here's the most obvious answer from manufacturers. Vermouth should be stored in the refrigerator. And it's just to preserve taste and the freshness. And you're supposed to basically get 3 to 6 months out of it. I've been to bars where the vermouth's been obviously in the back bar for years. I've had it on the back bar for years. I don't have any now because I have a refrigerator here, so I keep it in there. However, I've had vermouth that has been in the refrigerator, not in the refrigerator. I can't tell. It tastes different, but neither of them are bad. They're just different. I've opened a brand new bottle, and then I've taken the refrigerated product side by side. They taste a little bit different. But it's not flat muted and stuff like tequila when you leave it open too long. Tequila starts to lose a lot of its vibrancy. Most alcohols lose their vibrancy. If they're colored, they also tend to brown with oxidation over time. Still not going to kill you. It just doesn't look as good. The one that always comes to mind is like pomegranate liqueur. It starts to get a brown color, not nearly as vibrant in your cocktails. The flavor profile of spirits gets muted. The flavor profile of vermouth just gets different. It doesn't turn to vinegar. It's got enough alcohol in it that it stays stable for long periods of time. I don't know why. I know that the rule is after 6 months, you're supposed to throw it away. That's what they tell you, so you go buy more vermouth. Buy a big bottle, drink a little bit of it, throw it away. If you're a vermouth drinker, this is not a problem for you. It's only a problem for people like me who aren't really big on vermouth, but they have to make it every now and then. The one that I've heard the best explanation is cream-based liqueurs. So Irish creams, like Cool Swan. When I've interviewed Cool Swan, the best Irish cream probably on the market. Don't think I even have a bottle. I gotta go get a new bottle. Stuff's great. The reason isn't because it's going to go bad. The reason is the crispness of the cream just tastes better when it's chilled. And their goal is to make sure that when you bring out Cool Swan or Bailey's or whatever, that you're having the best optimal experience. I've had Irish cream out under my bar, probably do now. I have some under there for freaking 5-10 years, a decade, and it's still fine. I don't understand why, but it's fine. It doesn't curl, it doesn't sour. It's laced with a preservative. But if you want your best experience, you put it in the fridge. There are other exceptions. So basically the rule being, okay, Steven's follow-up was kind of like, well, what's the lowest ABV for before you need to put it in the fridge? There isn't really a number. Basically, it doesn't come down to ABV as much as it comes down to particulates of floating matter. This was explained to me by, I think it was a university in Maine when I was looking at making like a vinegar-based shrub and producing it. And I was like, well, I could just cook it and then, seal it. And they're like, well, it's got to go to lab test. And the rule there is if it has floating particulate matter, if there's actual product floating in it, that can get bacteria a whole lot easier than a clear product. If it doesn't have a high acidity to it, there's a lot of different rules for how to get it to keep the bacteria away. In general, the minute you're adding fruits or any type of preserve to your spirit, even if it's like 10% alcohol, keep it in the fridge for as long as it'll last. And who knows what that number is. It's going to be different for everything. But if it's a pure spirit, like I bought this fresh bottle of Midori, didn't know I had a bottle, so I ended up with a second one. But this has no melon in it. It's only 20% alcohol. I could keep this for as long as I'm going to be around, and it's going to be fine. It's probably going to lose some of its vibrancy over time, but you're not going to get poisoned and die. I don't have to refrigerate it, even though it's only 20% compared to tequila at 40. But the minute there are freaking pieces of melon floating in there, that's going to be refrigerated. So hopefully that'll help answer your question. If you got floating stuff in there, keep it in the refrigerator, regardless of the ABV. Everything else is just pure alcohol. The worst case scenario is it's going to kind of get flavorless over time. I've had moonshine that's 100 proof moonshine that over time it lost all the alcohol and it was basically distilled water and a little bit of weak alcohol. It doesn't taste very good. So in general, holding spirits over time is not going to cause you to die. It's just going to cause you to go, meh, I can't believe I bought that. and it's going to give that product a bad review. You're going to misremember that it was once good, now it's bad, and you're not going to buy it again. Brands hate that. So they're going to give you recommendations based on what they think will preserve the product and make it taste freshest longest. There you go. We're teaching you how to drink.